Well, hello and welcome. I'm the little bobblehead in the corner, Lisa Barwise, pleased to meet you. But I wanted to come and do a video to accompany this so that you had someone here taking you through this because I don't know, we can download all these things from the internet and we grab this free download, we grab that. And I think a lot of the time, some really important information is often missed. And I didn't want to just glisten over or glean over important information or assume that you knew things or that just give you the checklist or the bullet points of things. Now, this has then made this guide quite comprehensive. And I know ladies, maybe like you, who tend to then overwhelm themselves a little bit when they have a lot of information. So what I want to do here is give you the information that you need based on where you're at. And that's why I thought I'd do a little quick step-by-step guide and a quick introduction and tour of this document. Okay, so we didn't want to glean over or skip over important information. We didn't want to assume that you knew certain information because a lot of this information isn't taught, like nutrition isn't taught in schools or any of those things. So we wanted to make sure that you had that information and everything that you need to be successful, but at the same time, not overwhelm you with information. Can you see my dilemma? So what are you going to learn in this comprehensive carb cycling and eating guide is, in order for you to understand how freaking awesome carb cycling is and eating in this way is, you have to first understand why it's different, right? You have to first understand some of the basic principles about body shape change, about nutrition, etc. So what I've done to make this more simple is give you a contents here. So you can see exactly what, the sections are. So if you need to skip some, you can. But even better, if you scroll down here, you'll see that I've created a skimmer's guide and bullet point summary. So again, if you're someone that just likes the bullet points, if you just like the tell it to me straight type of stuff, then you can skim to the end and get that information. I will not in any way be offended. Okay? But I wanted to give you this information in this way so that you could take from it what you needed, and that might mean all of it, but that also might mean just some of it. So if you think like you know a little bit about this, or I understand about calories, or I do know about macronutrients, etc., then you might just want to skim to the eating plans and the recipe suggestions, and that's fine too. Okay, so as I said, there'll be a little introduction from me, and you can skim to the end if you need it. Or if you do enjoy being the health geek and knowing the science and are a complete questioner with things, then read on. So understanding body shape change and some of the misconceptions and misunderstandings when we're obsessed with weight loss and not focusing on the change of body composition and shape, and understanding human body composition and how it's actually made and put together. Also what that looks like on a daily basis with clients, and also a little bit about my own journey. So you'll read that in here too. Then we talk about common mistakes about body shape change here, mistakes and misunderstandings about, exercise is only about burning fat. You'll also hear about, it's making me bulky, all of this sort of stuff, right? And then also looking at what is the actual science of carb cycling. How does it work? There's some of it science and some of it is bullet points. Yes, you're welcome. So we talk all about that, but we also talk about calories. Then we begin to teach you about macronutrients, so you do understand what macronutrients are. Maybe you know a little bit about them already, maybe you've never heard of them or how it works, and I wanted to make sure that we did this step by step for you. Yeah, again, not glisten over or skip over important steps. So then we teach you all about the different macronutrients and all of their purposes, and give you some ideas about that. And then also talk about why carbs are front and center, but also the benefits of carb cycling, and there's some science in there for you. But also protein, just how much protein you need to be eating for body shape change, and also talking about what that looks like on your plate. And we go into intermittent fasting as well, right? Because part of our 7-day carb cycle talks about intermittent fasting and your metabolism, which is really important. So you're going to then see what our 7-day carb cycle is. Here it is. So we've laid the foundations, we've laid the understanding of what carbs are, what macros are, what calories are, and why we manipulate carbs and calories throughout the 7 days. Yeah, and that's what it looks like. But then we want to know what that looks like on our plate every day. So we teach you the portion control rule of thumb so that you can see how to build a plate. Then you can see what that looks like for breakfast. You can see what that looks like for lunch and dinner. And you can see what like the first week of our program looks like, how we're matching those days to our exercise. Yeah. Then you've got sample low carb days. You're welcome. Sample reg cal days, sample low cal days, and also sample feast days, right? So you can start to see what sort of food and stuff are being eaten and what sort of exercise that would be. Yeah. And then actual recipes that will link to our blog. We've got lots and lots of recipes on the blog for different days and which ones work best. Yeah. Here's that skimmer's guide for those that just like the bullet point summary at the end. So feel free to skim if that's where you're at. And of course, if you want to know what the next step is, if you want to know how we do this, if you want to just have somebody give you the exact information and say, eat this, do this, then of course you can come and join us in our 3 steps to lose 5 pounds in 10 days program, known as our 3-5-10 plan. It'll help you with those 3 steps to breakfast, eating the right thing at the right time, and getting started with kettlebell training, full 10 days of eating and training, and a full workout library and supplement guide. So go ahead now, download this guide for yourself, take the information as you need it to learn how to eat for body shape change over 40, understanding how carb cycling and intermittent fasting will work for you. And if you want to connect some more, we've got lots of amazing tools and resources on carb cycling on the podcast and on the blog. But as always, if you need help and advice, just reach out to us either through the chat box or by email. I'm here to help and support you. Go ahead and download it, and I can't wait to hear what you think about it on the other side.